Welcome back to In the Front Row. My name's Jamie Lee. Today I'll be doing a review of School Spirit Season 2, Episodes 1 through to 3, because they are the ones that are streaming now on Paramount Plus. I'm so excited to be talking about this because I really love this show. I think it's got a lot to give, but it's not very known. So I really love talking about it to get it out a little bit more. And it's been picked up by Netflix as well. So that's good that it gets a little bit more push because I really think it's very deserving. I really loved Season 1. And in Season 1, we were left with that huge cliffhanger of who is Janet? What is she doing? Where is she going? And who is she? And Season 2 of School Spirits really covers that. We get a deep dive into Janet's background, her history with Mr. Martin, and her family life at home. And what I think is really clever is how they show the modern times, like how we live now in society, you know, with the college and the parties and things like that. But they also really smoothly just transition that so that we are back in time to, say, 60 years ago when it was a different era. There was a different way of life, different rules in society. It's really refreshing to see that and see it done so well. The costumes, when Janet is in the past, the costumes are really traditional, very vintage, and they really do look like the cars, the costumes, the color tone even of how this was shot. It just really does make you feel like you were back in those days when times were so different for Janet. And then again, to so swiftly just move that to the present where we see universities and where we see girls in short sleeve dresses and things like this, not down to their ankles, different ways of life, you know, college parties as they are now where there's drinking and there was big beer kegs and things like that, whereas that would have been very different in Janet's time when she was not allowed to go to university because of her father. I love that we're getting that background between her and her father and Mr. Martin and that sort of storyline that we've got going on there, because it really does set up the suspense as to what happened. How did Janet die? Did Janet do something to her father? Did Mr. Martin do something? There's a whole lot of suspense because it turns out that he's not a nice man. So it builds up that suspense as well. We also had a little storyline here that was very suspenseful with Xavier. And I really like this because the way it was written was really well done, because it was really hard for Simon to convince all of Maddie's friends that she's still alive. She is still here, except in spirit, not in body. And it took a long time for them to realize that. So by writing Xavier to have this accident and to experience going into that afterlife or that in-between stage, that really helped with Simon's case because, you know, he could see a different point of view and a different light, which then helped the girls get on board. So that writing was really, really smooth too, because it just made things make a lot more sense. Likewise with Maddie, Janet going to university, we get to see Maddie's friends there, but that would never have happened had Nicole's brother not met up with Claire and that be that connection there that, you know, she's got a brother that goes to university. So it was really well written. I think the script is really compelling. Like, it's very suspenseful. It really keeps you on your toes. I've still got so many questions, you know, and I really like that because it keeps you hanging for the next episode. And boy, are there some questions. There's a lot going on here that I need the answers to. And part of me is really excited, but then I think, I'm probably not going to get the answers because I'm going to be left with a cliffhanger ready for season 3. But yeah, there's a lot of questions as to who the villain in this story is, because it's so well written that you're constantly thinking, is it Mr. Martin? Is he, you know, sly and sneaky and manipulative like we know that we've seen so far that he is? But then on another side, we keep seeing Janet and she keeps telling us of what she's capable of. And it makes you wonder, what did these two people do, or what were they trying to do in order to cross to the other side? And we were left with a really big cliffhanger at the end of episode 3 because Maddie, Janet, returns home to her mum. So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Is she going to pretend that she's Maddie still? It's going to be hard to convince a whole town that this isn't Maddie when she's physically there in front of them. So it's going to be interesting as to see what direction this takes. But yeah, I'm very interested to see who is at fault here, Mr. Martin or Janet, and also what the connection is with Mr. Anderson. Is Mr. Anderson somehow related to the man that was the guidance officer, that assault that they did on Rhonda. Well, it wasn't really even assault, it was murder. They murdered Rhonda. So does he have something to do with that? Because we keep seeing these zoom ins of Mr. Anderson's death, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Anderson. And then in that final episode, we get Mr. Anderson. So I'm going to be really interested to see if he plays any connection other than the fact that, you know, he's consolidating Maddie's mum. If he plays a further part in any of that, I'm not sure. I really love the first 3 episodes of this season so far because I think it's gotten a lot more funnier. I feel like it's got really comfortable in what it's doing, what it's trying to say, and the cast are really gelling, that the humor is coming off really smooth. It's very witty. There's a lot of funny things in this. I like that they use social topics, I guess you could say, things that we talk about or we watch in today's society by mentioning like Veronica Mars and things like that. And the references to do with sexuality, specifically Charlie, there are a few jokes in there with Charlie found things to do with his sexuality, and I thought they were really funny, really witty, really clean, but very funny. And there was just lots of really funny moments in this that I really thought stepped up from season 1. Season 1, there are a few ha-has here and there, but this really feels really comfortable for them now that they have a really clear direction with this. The writing is on point, the humor is well-timed and fits, you know, it really does make you laugh. The music in this is awesome. It just seems so indie, so alternative, and it fits just this whole show, the mystery, the whodunit detective style. And I love that with the detective style stuff too, when we had Quinn and she drew up the whole like CSI charts and stuff like that. It is really fun. I'm really enjoying this show. I absolutely love the cast. I'm torn though, I've got to say, in the ending of this, because Maddie's dead and I love her with Wally. I really ship them. I think they're very cute, very sweet. And I just don't understand how they're going to wrap this show up, because I also want Maddie to not be dead. I want Maddie to go back to her friends in the present life, not in the afterlife or this in between. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with that. Does our friends in the afterlife, Charlie, Rhonda, Wally, etc., are they going to move on to an afterlife, a heaven, so to speak? And will we not see them again? Like when this ends, I know this is long-term thinking, but anyway, because yeah, I really do like Wally and Maddie. I think they're very cute together. I had a very sweet moments together when I watched it. I think I recorded like 3 hours of content for this, and then I realized, oh, I can't add the parts of the clips in because I can't screen record from Paramount anymore. So I recorded just me reacting to a black screen, but that's totally fine. Maybe I can find clips a little bit later on and mash them up to give my reactions, because my reactions to those moments, especially when they kiss, I just love them. And I'm really happy that Charlie is getting a little bit of storyline in this as well, whereas he's getting a friend in the afterlife. So that's what I'm saying to you. I don't know how they're going to close this off, because I like the relationships that are in the afterlife or the in-between, but I just don't know how we're going to move on from them when that time finally comes. But I have complete faith, because the writers of this absolutely know what they're doing, because they're ticking all the boxes for me. It's mysterious. I'm constantly in suspense. I'm constantly wanting more. I think it's a compelling story. It's really interesting, and to play on people's beliefs of things as well. I really love it. I can't wait for episode 4. Hopefully you guys loved episodes 1 through to 3. Let me know in the comments section if you've watched them and what was your favorite moment. And if you're not already, please subscribe to my channel, and then head on over to my gaming channel and give me a sub over there as well, please. The links to all my socials are in the description box, so make sure you head over there and give me a follow as well. And I was also very lucky enough to interview Spencer McPherson, who plays Xavier Baxter in the show. And that interview you can find on my channel if you search for that as well. I'd love for you to check that one out, and make sure you come back for my review of episode 4. Okay, thanks for watching. Have a good day. Bye.